Okay, so the helicopter's landed now, and I hope whoever's in it gets the care that they need. I do like Rapides Regional Medical Center. We do have a good hospital here, just saying. Anyway, so that sergeant came to my house that night, and he actually prayed with us, and he talked to us, and he was a great man. I also know an officer, or well, actually, I believe he was promoted to chief, but Lieutenant Fletcher, Pineville PD, he's a good man. Him and his wife used to come into the store I worked at, Chandler's Groceries, and the first time I met him, it was kind of peculiar because he was saying, a pretty lady like you shouldn't have to pay for her items. Let me pay for that for you. And of course I was standing there with my mouth open, and his wife said, well, that's my husband. And I understood that at that point. He was just being silly. But anyway, he's a really good man, and I know quite a few other good men and women in law enforcement due to my working at Chandler's Groceries. And I would just like to say thank you to all of those officers and people out there that are in our law enforcement and government that are actually fulfilling their duties and not bringing tyranny upon our nation, our world, because that's all that a lot of them unfortunately are doing. And it's scary to know that, to live in that reality. After the cyber stalking charge and everything, I've basically been dealing with a lot of just verbal abuse. I've also been dealing with the threats that come, and it seems like they come more and more consistently because he thinks he can get away with it. Because he has got away with it because of our system. It's not right. We need to stop this, people. We need to bring change. Our entire country is hurting right now. And we're out there marching, not as a color, because to me, it's not money. I mean, it's not white privilege. It's money privilege. People with money keep it that way. Monopoly was a game designed out of the knowledge that the world and the system can be monopolized. They do not care about us. They say what they have to say in front of the cameras. A lot of people do. They just do it to be able to pull the, so as you say, wool over our eyes. And we don't see it because majority of people, and I have no doubt in this world, in our country, are good people. We see the good. Well, right now is our time to change it. I filed charges for forgery with the acknowledgement of paternity affidavit, which the justice of the peace that signed it is a family member of his. And that was back in September 2019. Well, it's June 2019, and last month was the month that I finally talked to the detective assigned. He basically told me that there's not much that will probably come of that, and that I should seek legal aid and fight for my daughter in family courts. I can't afford to. It's not possible. I can't afford to pay a lawyer. Everywhere I call, I'm told they don't do pro bono work. Again, 75% of people here in Louisiana are suffering this, and I'm really begging, humbling myself down to everybody to come out and make a short video. Just make a short video. Help us bring change. Help us speak up, because the more that they oppress us, the more we will be destroyed. Our children are being destroyed in family courts. Our lives are being taken from us in family courts. To me, that is torture, and that's illegal. Them seizing my daughter and giving her to an abusive man in Oklahoma, that is illegal. Fourth Amendment jurisprudence, if you don't understand it or know about it, look it up. That was an illegal search and seizure of my child. The charges that were now I look at in Oklahoma say I was aiding and abetting, or a flight to evade. I'm sorry, a flight to evade. Flight to evade what? Abuse? I knew he had family and associates in the Glenmore Police Department. I knew it. I knew that Sheriffs went and ate at the restaurant that his sister runs. I knew that he had more resources. His mom actually put her house up for $10,000, I guess, to pay for their lawyer. That's a lot of money. And his lawyer was great if you like breaking the law. I can prove that this lawyer signed a sworn affidavit stating that I had burnt my daughter with a cigarette lighter, and then I guess they didn't realize what they were giving me, but they gave me the picture that supposedly showed this abuse. It was not a cigarette lighter burn. Anybody who's watched any kind of abusive documentary, or even looking it up online to see what a cigarette burn looks like, you can see that this is a little blister because she has a problem with impetigo. She's had it a few times in her life, which me bringing that awareness to the court didn't matter. The judge didn't care. She didn't care. She ignored that fact. But it was like a small little blister that had popped. Trinity's had blisters break out all over her body more than once. It's been a few times. And for me to be punished for a bold-faced lie, and for him to get away with committing perjury in a courtroom in the state of Louisiana, is a crime, and it should be punishable by law. And there should be someone reviewing these things. Every courtroom in our nation needs to have surveillance. And in my eyes, we can create a whole lot of job opportunities if we take that idea and we make it a live feed, and we put someone on the end of those cameras in every courtroom, in every government or public official duties. Cops should be monitored with a live feed. There's lots of people that need jobs in America. We can monitor our police through a direct feed, sitting at a computer from our homes or from other facilities that can be turned into that. We don't have to build anything new. There are lots of vacant places in America. There are tons of them. We need to do something. We need to think outside the box. We need to bring back the USA-made pride, love, loyalty to our country, because we lack severely. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. It hurts our communities. It hurts our families. It hurts our system. And they're coming about bringing the ultimate form of tyranny, the loss of freedom. I feel like freedom was already lost in my case. My daughter's subjected to verbal abuse. She's isolated from me and her 3 brothers, who she loves. And nobody cares. Not even the people that know I'm a good mother came forward and stood up for us. I know that some of them did stand up for him when he went to ask them to go to court, and they told him, I will not go to court and say that she's a bad mother. She's not a bad mother. She doesn't deserve this. But I know other people that I thought would stand up for me didn't. They didn't care. It didn't affect them. And they said they didn't want to be involved. Well, every time we do that, every time we don't want to be involved, we are basically allowing our freedom to be taken, because it might not be on your doorstep today, but it could be on your doorstep tomorrow. The problems I face could be yours. So whenever we are thinking of only ourselves, we're allowing even ourselves to be put in a position of losing our freedom. And why? For what? If we are united, we will stand, and we will stand strong. But if they divide us and we allow it, then we will be conquered. They will win. It's time to remove all the government officials. I'm sorry, the good with the bad. We need to remove them out of office. We need to understand that our police force is very important, and our military services are important. A lot of those people will stand up with us. They're showing that. They are coming out and they're saying, we're here with you, we understand, we hear your cries. And a lot of times all I can think about is Mel Gibson and Braveheart. Freedom, right? Freedom. An estimated 22 million parents suffer the same injustice I felt. If 22 million parents are feeling this pain, imagine how many children are involved feeling this pain. You can't trust CPS. You can't trust a cops to come in and look at the situation and then say, I am not going to do that. I'm not going to arrest that person because that's not, I mean, that's against the law. I'm not going to break the law. But because it's allowed and they back each other up, a lot of them don't mind breaking the law, and they know who to call when it's time to break the law. We need to stop this. These government people, we need to take their paychecks back, because guess what? As a country that pays taxes, we pay for the government. Then the government creates systems such as food stamps and health care, you know, Medicaid services or whatever to help us, right? They're helping us. They're not, though. They're subjecting us to more abuse. We need to take back their paychecks, and we need to pour that money into our country. We need solar power for everybody. Everybody needs free electricity. That's how our planet has come about in our modern time, to provide safety and electricity through solar power would make such an impact for low-income families and people who struggle to get by, because I'm sorry, they have made it so we struggle. The 1% of America, of our world, is billionaires and millionaires. These people have more money than we could ever imagine. $1 billion is 100 million dollars. So if we have that many millions in a billion, well, where are the billionaires stepping up and donating at least $1 billion to bring change? They have the money. We need it. We're a country that's suffering. We're gonna see destruction of our world, our country. And I say world too, because there are other countries that are feeling this pain and they're protesting too. We are coming about a time that, I'm sorry, your money is not gonna save you. If you think your houses can't be found and intruded by people who are not good people, just like us regular people can, you're wrong. Your money will not protect you when the destruction of the world comes. When our nation falls, everyone will fall. Money's not gonna matter. What money you have is not gonna provide any kind of protection for you, because people are gonna be trying to protect their families and themselves. Everyone who watches this video, I want you to know that it took a lot for me to finally say, okay, well, I'm gonna have to put a face to my story. I'm gonna have to put a face out there. And I see a lot of other parents standing up and making a change, and it's my turn. Please come forward. If you live in Louisiana State or in any other state, tell us your story. Let us know. It's time America knows just how unjust and insidious the system is. Because guess where the root starts, in my opinion? It's in family courtrooms and in abusive households. And 70% of the time, abusers are getting custody of our children. That creates more abuse. That creates more abusers. It's not their fault. These poor children are abused and treated as if they don't matter. So when they get older, they're broken. They don't understand what unconditional love and compassion for others is. And that's all I'm gonna say in this video. I will upload some more videos. I appreciate y'all listening. And like I said, please get your story out there. Make some noise. Every parent that's felt this, I know that you have felt war for your freedom is necessary. For your children, for our lives, for our country. I want to say thank you and God bless.